Thank you for watching another episode of the Boat Geeks. If you are liking what you're finding here at our channel, please hit the thumbs up below.
And please like and subscribe so you don't miss a future episode.
Absolutely. And you can comment too. Feel free to comment.
Yeah, we love to hear what you think.
Thank you.
Did that because there's a really prestigious boat show in England like this one called Henley Traditional Boat Show. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to launch the business there. Mm-hmm. So I had 102 days to build this boat. And it was 42 foot long. I had arms like Popeye by the end of it.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I did the whole thing, start to finish.
Did you do a reality show? You know, because you always have the deadline.
Yeah.
We have to finish it tomorrow.
So many deadlines.
That's not enough time to do a project like that, it feels like. I mean, you must have been your hours.
14-hour days.
Did you sleep?
Yeah. Not really. No.
And how'd she turn out? Beautiful?
Amazing.
Yeah.
She's a bit of a trophy piece on the Broads.
I'm sure.
Everywhere she goes, she
can you
gets
send us some pictures so we'll put it in the show to show people?
Of course I can.
From the Port Townsend Wooden Boat Festival and recorded in the Fisheries Supply, live from the Wooden Boat Festival stage, it's the Boat Geeks with Darren and Daeron.
We're the Boat Geeks, whatever floats your boat. We're the Boat Geeks.
Welcome to another episode of the Boat Geeks podcast. Special edition, we're coming to you live from the Port Townsend Wooden Boat Festival 2024. And I am your host, Darren.
And I'm your other host, Darren. And we are in the Fisheries Supply, live from the Wooden Boat Festival stage. And our guest right now, all the way from England, is Abby Molyneux, who has a very interesting story, starting out at the apprentice level to what you do now, which is...
I run a boatyard on the east coast of England in a little place called Norfolk.
Wow, that little place.
That little place, yeah.
So you are the boss of this boatyard, yes?
I am.
Nice.
I try to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I want to hear the challenges of running a boatyard of that size in that area.
How big is it? How many people do you got?
Where do we start?
Yeah, I'm sure, right?
The list is long.
Yeah.
So I've been in business for 3 years, and setting up, it was just me. So I did 14-hour days, 7 days a week, until the yard was big enough to take people on. I now have 2 apprentices and sort of 7 or 8 contractors that come in and out, and they work when I need them, but not full time.
Yep.
The biggest bit is being a boss, really.
Yeah.
I find it really hard.
Because you're responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Everything rolls upward. So what led to, this is kind of just blowing my mind. How did you get into the business of running a boatyard? Like what led to that for you? And what was your prior boat experience?
So I worked at a boatyard on the River Thames in London for 8 years, I think it was. And I worked as part of a big team down there, but I got to a point where I was the best I could be and the highest up I could be in that yard. And I'm not a sit down person. Like, it's like, what's next? What we doing? Like, and I kind of felt like I got to the top of that ladder. And in London, you can't afford anything. You can't afford anywhere to live. I lived on a boat. I moved every 72 hours because you're not allowed to stay, even in the depths of winter. So that was really hard. And I left that, really, which was kind of heartbreaking because, like, the boatyard boys are kind of your family at the end of it, and you kind of fly the nest and disappear. And the next logical step was to go and find the next thing. And I tried to work for another company and quickly realised that I had to be my own boss. Like, this isn't going to work. I set my own one up.
But now, if I just wanted to start a boatyard, I feel like the whole idea is so overwhelming that I wouldn't even do it. So, like, what does it take to, when you decide I'm just going to start my own boatyard? First, you had to find the space to do it. Was it a pre-existing boatyard or boat space, or like, how did that all?
No, it's partly why I moved to Norfolk, because it's there's loads of boats and loads of river networks, and basically like big lakes. We call them Broads, but there's the land and the space is really cheap. unlike London. So I didn't set up on the water because I can't afford riverside stuff, and it floods as well, and you have to work in your wellies, and it's all a bit miserable. So I just got a giant barn on a farm, and everything that comes into my yard comes in on an Arctic truck, and I have a crane, and we unload it, and I roll it in through the door. So that was why I made that decision.
Yeah.
Basically due to money, because it meant I could set up and put the
achievable.
money into the infrastructure of the tools and the yard and the machinery and the people rather than the building. Yeah.
Before you started this, did you specialize, or were you a proficient
Jack
in
of all trades?
many parts of working?
I worked
on
for a
boats?
really hard guy.
Okay.
So I worked for a chap called Steve Dennett, who's kind of famous down our way for boat building, and he will push you and push you and push you until you're absolutely excellent at everything.
Oh,
and
good.
that's what he did to me. And he makes grown men cry in the bilges. He's tough, but he's very good at what he does.
Tough but fair, right?
Tough, but well, sometimes fair. But he made me very good at my job.
Are you tough but fair?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm finding the balance.
Awesome. So now, what does your yard encompass? What is the work that you do?
So if it's smaller than 30 foot and weighs less than 10 tons, then it's too small and too boring. So
Oh, good. You could work
really
on our
big
boat.
and
Yes.
really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind smaller stuff. Like I just did a 1920s step hull hydroplane, and that was really good fun because it was small, but it's fucking weird.
Totally unique. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got really creative with that and sort of created a whole scene behind it, and I took it to all the shows and we raced it and we had a pit crew and it was just exciting,
nice.
Yeah.
So I'll do smaller stuff if there's that thing that
So you get to pick your
makes it
work.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
want to take this on, or I don't want to take that on.
I wrote a blog in all my time at Dennett, so I was there for 8 years, and I wrote a blog about being an apprentice and finding your own way into building, and that gave me a massive reputation before I set up my yard.
Oh,
So
good.
everybody
Nice,
already
yeah.
knew who I was.
Yeah. Wow.
So I kind of, I've
Well,
picked my work from day
So
one, really.
what is the name of your yard?
Abbey Boat Builder.
Nice.
Abbey
Easy.
Boat
It's
Builder.
what I've been in everyone's phone for
Abbey
the last
Boat Builder
15 years.
Yeah.
what's the,
Do you have a website?
No, I don't have a website. No, I do everything on social media.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that works.
So how can they
Yeah.
find you on social media? What are your...
At Abbey Boat Builder. Yeah.
We'll put that right here, and we'll make sure people know where to find you.
the one and
That'd
only
be cool.
Abbey Boat Builder.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about some of your favorite boats that you've had the pleasure to work on, or
The hydroplane was really fun because it was something different. And then when I moved to Norfolk and set the yard up, I did a 42-foot Broads cruiser. And the chap walked in, and I was I'd put new planks in another boat, and he'd seen that happen. But the customer walked in and he said, "Oh, it's such a shame to paint it all. Why don't we just varnish it?" And I said, "Well, you can't really varnish it unless we build it again because it's all manky old pine with red lead filler in it, and it's all a bit.
You wanna
it's
paint
been-
that, yeah.
It's been painted for decades.
Yeah.
You can't just varnish it. It's not how it works." And he turned around and said, "Well, let's build it again then."
wow?
So we did. So I ripped the whole lot off,
Yeah.
and I rebuilt the whole thing from the keel up.
Wow.
And I did that because there's a really prestigious boat show in England like this one called Henley Traditional Boat Show. And I wanted to launch the business there. So I had 102 days to build this boat. And it was 42 foot long. I had arms like Popeye by the end of it.
Oh, I'm sure you
And,
did.
Yeah, I did the whole thing, start to finish.
Did you do a reality show? Because you always have the deadline.
Yeah.
We have to finish it tomorrow.
So many deadlines.
Yeah.
So many deadlines.
That's not enough time to do a project like that. It feels like. I mean, you must have been your hours.
14-hour days.
Did
again?
you sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. No,
Yeah.
Wow.
no.
And how'd she turn out? Beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a bit of a trophy piece on the Broads.
I'm sure.
Everywhere
can you,
she goes, she
can you
gets
send us
recognised.
send us some pictures so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
put it in the show
Yeah,
to show
of
people?
course I can.
Cool.
And the hydroplane.
And we'd love to see the yard too, if you have pictures of the
Yeah,
yard.
yeah.
Now, when you said redo this boat, What is your situation with acquiring wood over there? What type of wood do you use for a project like that, and how hard is it to get timber and wood over there?
It's difficult. Way harder than it is here. I went to Edensaw and I just I died with envy. Like, oh my God, you guys have it so easy.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, in England it's really tough.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of Iroko and a lot of Sapele because that's easy to get.
Yeah.
But when I set my business up, it was really hard to source timber and get decent prices on it and not pay essentially a retail price on stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when my old boss came in handy because
Nice
I drop his name
There you go.
and he spends 85 grand on one timber order and then
Sure.
does it again next week.
Right.
So you drop his name and the prices start coming down and it's like, I'm going to ring Dennett up and I'm going to see what you charged him and then I'll call you back. So he's kind of the reason I was able to do a lot of things so quickly is because I had him on my side.
Well, in a few years down the road, somebody's going to go to the same supplier and go, yeah, I know Abby. And they're going to go, okay, we're going to give you a better price, right? That's how that works. It keeps...
The Port Townsend Wooden Boat Festival, an annual celebration every September, the weekend after Labor Day. Hundreds of incredible wooden boats, an amazing slate of seminars and workshops, and fun activities for all ages. The Port Townsend Wooden Boat Festival, a project of Northwest Maritime. Tickets and information at woodenboat.org. You seem like you can keep up with the best of them, but what was it like for you when you got into into boat building and working in yards, and where I'm assuming it was mostly men? We interviewed Heike and we've had a few other guests. It's not been easy, So is it like that for you, or what did you find?
Not really, but I think it's to do with, because we talk about this quite a lot in the Women in Boat Building Association, and I've sort of started to realise that that's due to my upbringing, because I wasn't in school and I was home educated and I had an awful lot of freedom as a kid. I got on a megabus and travelled the country and I figured out what I wanted to do with
Nobody
myself.
telling you what you can't do.
No, nobody told me what I can't do. And I didn't have any preconceptions because I hadn't been in school in that girl-boy environment.
Right.
Like, we all mixed all the time. So it never even occurred to me that they wouldn't let me because I was a girl. I just rocked up and fucking did it.
That's how much it's environment. It's environmental. It's cultural. We are super lucky. We know that, living in Port Townsend. Both of our boats have been worked on by as many women as men, and nobody even thinks about it or cares about it around here.
Yeah.
It's a really strange place over here. Like, I was saying to Tuckett, who I've been wandering around with, like, it's the first time in over a decade that anyone has seen me as a boat builder first and a girl second.
Wow. There you go.
Which is a really strange feeling. It's a really weird feeling.
It's, you know what? First of all, I'm glad you felt that way. But second of all, it's ridiculous that we live in this world where it's anything other than that.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I hadn't even thought about it, because I'm kind of ballsy and I just get on with it and I just do my thing regardless.
Yep.
It hadn't really occurred to me what it felt like when you didn't have to fight all the time and then you don't have to, and it's like, this is really chill. No wonder it's got such a nice atmosphere, people are relaxed. They don't have to worry.
So what is happening at your yard right now with you gone?
My yard's closed for 10 days.
Oh boy.
It's never been closed for 10 days before.
Well, thank you for coming out here and blessing us with your appearance and closing your yard. I'm sure that wasn't an easy choice to do, but I'm sure everybody here is glad that you guys made it.
I'm so glad we came. Yeah.
We are too.
We've actually been walking around when we've had little breaks, and we've talked to people who are looking forward to seeing your...
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh God,
Your
I'm
talk.
so nervous.
Oh, you're going to do great. You know it. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you, walking around here, have any of the boats spoken to you? Have you felt any kinship, or are there any boats that you particularly like here?
I've been walking around looking at boats since Monday.
Yeah.
So we've been around all the boatyards, which is kind of my thing. Like,
yes.
I'm weird in that I don't. Once they hit the water, I don't really like them. I'm not super keen. I like building stuff.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Boathaven? Did you?
My mind blowing. Yeah, just absolutely incredible. Yeah,
Did
and
you
I started reading Diana's book as well,
yeah.
which sort of connects you to how it used to be, and it used to be even cooler, which is hard to imagine.
Did you make it down to the Northwest School of Wooden Boat Building
Yes,
yet?
so I went to
Isn't
see
that
that.
amazing?
Yeah. I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our boat building schools in England are rubbish.
Are they?
And yeah, they're not good. And you can only go to them if you've got a parent behind you with a spare 30 grand to put you through the course,
Right,
you know?
right.
Which is why I had to live like I did and float around on the Thames for 8 years because I didn't have that financial backing. But it's amazing to see so many kids going into the trade.
Yeah.
And such a great facility as well. Like it's just incredible. I would love to be able to send my boys here for a year to train and then come back to me. Like, determined to try and make something happen.
Wow, the international connection and cooperation.
We've got to be able to make that work.
Yeah,
somehow.
I mean, this community, we always talk about how blessed we are, but this community they hear an idea and they go, all right, we'll figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
So
there's got to be a
maybe
way.
next year we'll be talking about a whole different story.
I did love the move this year to, bring in more of the women in the industry. We both have 14-year-old daughters that are, considering what they're going to do as they get older and they're considering trades. And I love that. Yeah. I would go to the wooden boat building school if I could. I'm, too old and I have too much work to do. But, it's amazing in the opportunities that are out there for everybody.
And these little shows we're doing are going to be so inspirational because my daughter is homeschooled as well.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we were talking to a few people. It's like we want to prepare them to be able to do whatever they want without a second thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
never crossed my mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you move through the world with that attitude,
it sees you differently as well.
you have fewer roadblocks.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is the future for you? Where do you see your yard going? Do you want to expand? Is there land around you that you can expand to, or are you happy exactly the way it is? What is your? Because like you said, you get to a certain point, and you're like, yeah, exactly.
No. I joke all the time that I want an empire.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Get it?
I want 14 people, and I want
Abby the Empire.
I want a team.
Yes.
I want to be churning out some of the best work in the country, and
I want to hear that you succeed at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I have no doubt.
It'll
I know you will.
happen. Yeah. No, it's finding the space to do it, and I'm impatient, and I'm at that like weird 3-year point in business where it's too soon to do the next bit, but I'm ready, but the business isn't. So it's it's building that foundation to make sure I don't fuck it up by being impatient and trying to do the next bit too fast.
Sure.
So patience is one of your fortes?
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
I was just checking.
No, I don't have it yet.
But you do have drive and motivation and ambition, and it looks like whatever you set your sights on, you achieve. So
watch out, world. Abby's coming.
So that is incredible. Abby the Boat Builder, you can, what social media, Instagram?
Instagram and Facebook.
Just Google Abby the Boat Builder.
Well, the Boat Geeks will find you and
we'll put the
like
information in the
and
show notes.
follow. We'll
That'd be
follow
cool.
you.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. And I know you're going to get some fans from the Pacific Northwest that are going to follow you.
Yeah.
I'm becoming a fan of all these amazing guests that we've had, and I know that I will be following
I've
you as
met
well.
some of them this weekend. It's been amazing. People that have been following me on Facebook and
Isn't that
following my
fun?
blogs for years and years and years.
Good
and
for
it's
you.
like, oh, hi, I'm Chris.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, finally.
That is
Very
so
cool.
cool. Very good to hear. Well, we hope you enjoy the rest of your time. I know that your speaking engagement today is going to go very well, so don't be nervous. You're a great speaker.
Yeah.
And just that's that confidence that you have. It's awesome. So, Abby, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me
Thank
on.
you.
And enjoy your time.
Cheers.
And that is another episode of the Boat Geeks. And until next time, whatever floats your boat.
We're the boat geeks, whatever floats your boat. We're the boat geeks, it's the boat that floats that we love the most. Yes, we love the boats. We're the boat geeks, whatever floats your boat. Walk on the water, float on the sea, crossing the oceans between you and me. The wind in our hair, the salt on the breeze, bringing us closer, life on the sea.